Alright, we're back at this. I was unable to find the oil pump stud nut that I need. So I have to go through my private stash at home and see if I can find some original stuff to use. So anyway, we'll leave it at that for now. We're going to get these lifter blocks in here. These are our tappet rollers. I just went over and butted these all off in the valve grinder. Got these all squared up where the valve hits. Smooth them up. Make sure the rollers are good, not chewed up or anything. These ones have clearance in them up and down, but they're just a bushing in there, so it doesn't matter on these ones. If these were needle bearing style, you'd have a problem, but you just have a big bushing in there. These things just don't wear out. They run just about forever. Until the cam follower face wears away. This one's getting a little rough, but not too bad. Or they get rusty or something like that, they just keep running on. So those are good to go for a while. So these here have gaskets on here for the valve covers that have to be replaced. So those are junk. This here has the original tappet screw with the original tappet screw locks right here. So you can see the marks inside the blocks here. Go like that. So I go ahead and get these cleaned up. Now there's a left and a right on this, or a front and a back, however you want to call it. So if you look at how the motor is orientated on these holes, the block goes in like this. I'll go in the front one, we can see better. This here matches how the case is, and you're going to make sure the tappet is going in line. See, the tappet roller goes in here like this. So you're going to make sure that goes in line. So when this goes in there like this is going in line, you're good. If it's turned 90 degrees like that, it's the wrong one. So this here's a front block, so you're good. This one here, on the other hand, is a rear block. So you go put it in the front hole. The tappet's going this way, not this way. See, it's pointing in the wrong direction. It should be over here. So this is the rear one. So you just got to separate these out. Front, rear. There you go. And the other thing you got to pay attention to is on the early motor you have a distributor stop right here for your. That's fully retarded, fully advanced. It's for advancing timing your advancing retarding your ignition timing. So you have to put this here underneath the number 3 block to be right, and it also has to take a gasket on both sides. So you got to make sure you put gaskets on there. Now this has that old original onion paper gaskets in here. See, they're still good, but he's going to want to replace these. So we have to tear these off and get some new ones in there. So these are the new black ones we're going to use. Luckily they gave us 5 because it's going to take 5. If it's a later motor, you want to take 5. You only need 4, but this one here takes the extra one. So I go ahead and get these things off of here like this. Pry them off. These things are fairly tough. Make sure they're all clean. And scrape all the crap out that's underneath the gasket surfaces in there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean all this stuff up, and then we'll come back and get ready to put this together. Okay, I got these blocks all cleaned up. So right now I'm gooping this stuff all up right now. So we got our gasket cinch here again. There you go. Quit asking what I use. How many times I responded to what I use for chemicals around here. Very common comment on YouTube. Okay. These are our 2 rear ones here. So go put the blocks, go put the gaskets. That. Like that. Okay. That's the case right here. Okay, missing a gasket, there it is. Okay, I gotta make sure I got lots of lubricant on this stuff. So what I do is I go ahead and put oil on the rollers here. You can hear how they sound dry. Try to get oil worked into the area there so it's not dry. Should be enough, hopefully. So they quit making noise, hopefully they got oil in them. That's why when I always start a bike up, I start it, shut it off, start it, shut it off, start it, shut it off. Gives a chance for stuff like this to get oil worked into it. You'll never get oil into it if it runs dry until you stop it and let it drain into it. Then it'll be fine. Most likely it will never stop squeaking and making noise if you just let it run. Okay, so now we go ahead and do the lifter blocks. Same deal, put oil on your finger, stick it in there. Make sure you got oil on there. Ah, sucked it back. Watch out for sharp edges while you do that. It can cut you. Especially if you got a fat finger like me and ain't got room to get in there. So get a good coating in there. Okay, then you got your lifter. So I go and do like that with it and get a good coating on that. That one sounds a little dry for some reason. A little extra. Alright, clean your hands off. It's hard to work with oil all over your fingers. Alright, now for the fun part. You get to beat these into the holes over here. First thing I do is figure out which one's which. Okay, this one here is a rear, so it goes in right here. That was already way tighter than it should be. Another tight one with a shocker. Basically you tap these down with a hammer. Make sure the roller stays up so you don't jam it in there. Now we got real tight all of a sudden. Same deal, keep the roller up in there. Try to keep the holes lined up as you go down. Once you get down to a certain point, you can go ahead and put the screws in there to help align. And you have to lightly tap with a punch and a hammer to keep them, to get them to go in there. You don't want to beat down on these ears at all because you will snap them off in a heartbeat. I use a brass punch to beat on with them. Now this socket here, what is size is 11/16 deep well. So it actually hits on the inside of the flat area in there. That's actually a slight fillet, but it hits down inside the outside there. That allows you to beat it down. And you're pushing straight down on the block. You're not pushing on these ears at all. So if you push on these ears, you'll break them off. This cast iron is very brittle. Okay, so once we get them down to that far, now I can see if I get any screws to start. And looking at the hole, I need to tap it lightly. Okay, once you get the screw to start, when you tap it down, it'll kind of self-align as it goes. The trick is to get the screws started. Now do not crank down on these screws. It will break those ears off, like I keep saying. Now normally I take the blocks and if the customer doesn't want everything to be 100% original, I'll go ahead and either trim the blocks down or cut the holes out slightly with a hone. So you either sand the outside of the block in the way, sand this down a little bit here, or you hone the block out, the case out slightly. That requires a hone. Sanding the block is the better way of the two. And you make them so they just have a slight fit in there, just with a light drag going in is what you want. Okay, once those are started like that, now you go ahead and beat these in further. See how hard I'm having to hit on those. You'll make sure the lifters do not lock up. If the lifters get tight, you have to pull the blocks back out. Obviously that's going to take a special tool. You got to make sure you don't put the wrong blocks in the wrong hole. So it's a good point to double check right now. That one is the correct one. And that one's the correct one. So never hurts to double check. Okay, now we'll go ahead and knock these all the way down. Here down. Different hit. This one's pretty hard. That one's getting real tight. Lifter still goes up freely. That's good. All right. You take your favorite tool, a hammer. Give these a little love tap. you tighten these up too hard, they'll split. Split the tappet block right out. If you didn't have the tappet blocks lined up correctly, it'll put a bind in, it'll snap, it'll crack the block or blow the whole side out. So, a lot of negatives can happen. Okay, so after you do that, you come back to him again. It's pretty tight. If you want to know how tight that is, you go like this. I can't unscrew it with my... Oh, couldn't see what I just did. Here, see them. Here's how you unscrew them. See? So that's how tight they are. Can't touch them. So they're pretty tight. Alright, so those two are in there. They're good. Okay, I'll go ahead and do the other two. Try to get that set on something there. Okay, now this one here, we got to put the oh shit, the timer stop on there. So well, that goes on a number 3, not the 4. So we're gonna go ahead and put the number 4 in there right now. So see how this one goes. It slipped in there pretty good. How's this one? Kind of tight. There. Okay, I'm going to put this one with a timer on it because I can get it in and out easier in case we have to pull it out at some point. It'd be nice if we didn't have to fight it really hard. Okay, so we line up our 2 holes again. Semi-eyeball them. Find my socket. There it is. That's as far as that lifter could go before it get to line it up. Another hit might have jammed it into the scalp of the cam there. Okay, I'll screw a little off. This block needs to go this way a little bit. It goes right in now. Blow up a little bit, you can see better. Yeah, that one didn't want to start. Looks pretty good. There it goes. I'm not sure what direction that one wants to go. I think it wants to go back a little bit. No, didn't really like that at all. It's not liking that either. That one doesn't care. Okay, we're going to tap it down a little bit. Make sure our roller's up out of there again. quite all the way down, but close to it. Okay, this will be the final hit down. If you can see, it moved that last 30th hour or so there. Okay, that one's now in there. Do the old bang bang again. Okay, now we get to do this one. Okay, now this one we got to do a double gasket on this one. Now this goes up like this, and this goes in it like that. There's our gasket sitting there. I already lubed everything already, so it should be good. So it goes in like that now. Sure exactly where the hole is here. Think about there. Almost too far. Let's see if we can put the screw in here. Went in. Put the lock in the right direction helps. Oh, that lines up really nice. Pull that one up again. Okay, I'll give her last hits here. All the way down. Double check it just to make sure. Seems to be down all the way. Still giving some. Okay, I'm going to hit that one more time just to make sure it's down. Seems to be pretty damn solid. Feels a little mushy when you're torquing on it. I got good torque that time. Oh yeah, that one's tight. You got two gaskets and a plate to smush down flat, so it feels a little mushy when you go in, but it's in there now. Okay, make sure they work good. Everything works good. Okay, go ahead and turn the motor over. Make sure everything goes up and down like it's supposed to. Seems to be working good. Compression stroke, front cylinder. Alright, so that's in there good. Alright, so now we got pretty much the motors all together except for the oil pump. And we also don't have the chain oiler adjuster for the primary chain over here either, which goes right here in this hole here. Look at that, we can see it. Where are we at here? See, we're too close. There we go. So this is where the rear, not the rear, this is where the chain oiler adjustment screw is for the primary chain, which goes across this way. And there's also a fitting that goes in here that we don't have for the oil line. This here is the tapered screw I talked about before for the rear chain oiler. This is the one for the front, same thing. They always have a big thick washer, and then usually there's a stack of little shim ones in there, anywhere from 1 to 8, and they're probably about 1.5 2 thou thick would be my guess. So this one has no thin shim washers. I don't know why. Usually there's at least 1 or 2 under there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see how deep it goes before it bottoms out, and have an idea about where this thing's adjusted at. Screwdriver's too big. So basically you run this thing all the way down until it bottoms out lightly. Okay, see how far that goes in there? That's very far down. So that means this thing's going to put a lot of oil in the primary chain. So I'm going to go ahead and give them some dimensions here so you can figure it out down the road what it really is. That was 15 thousandths. 25 went in. Start doubling them up here. Okay, something in that area there. Try that one. Yeah, that's it. Okay, somewhere between these three here. So what do we got? 17 and 18, or 18 and 19. Alright, so what's that? 35 or 37 or something like that? Yep, 35 and 37. Yeah, okay, we can see it there. So somewhere around 35 to 37 thou thick is what this is at bottom. And this washer here is 62. Right there. So that means you want to screw it quite a bit. So let's see how far is half a turn. There's another half. That's 1 turn. Come back. So that's 3/4 of a turn out. So usually those things for my bikes were 1/2 to 1 is where you would put them at. So with this washer here, we're 3/4 of a turn out from bottom. So if it's too much oil in your primary, then you're going to have to get a little bit thinner washer than the 1/16 of an inch. If you want more oil over there, then you'll have to get some little shims and make up some little shims. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together like how my hand blocks of you. So I got the shim washer, the big shim washers in there. And I'm going to go ahead and torque this down lightly. The screwdriver will fit in there. Yep. Okay, it's tight. So that's adjusted 3/4 of a turn out roughly, maybe 5/8 now that I tighten it a bit tighter. So I think we're about 5/8 of a turn now. So that's the primary chain adjustment, so that one's adjusted. Now the tube that goes over here in the motor is missing for the oiler. There's supposed to be a tube right here that goes in the back of the case. Right here in this hole right here. And it sticks out roughly about 1 inch or so, 1.125", and it has a little bit of a flare on the end so the oil can drip out of it. I've made these before in the past. So basically it's a 5/16 piece of tubing. It's 3/12 the hole. So if you take a piece of 5/16 tube, put a little flare on the end of it, and beat it in the hole with some sleeve retainer Loctite or red Loctite on it, you'll probably be good to go. It'll work. And like I said, it just sticks out about 1 inch or so, just about wherever the chain would be. No drip on the chain. So I don't know if he's missing his or what, I don't have it. So If he's missing it, you have to make it. So there you go. I went ahead and put the timing belt plug in here to keep the dirt out of the motor. And I'll just leave it sort of, I usually leave these loose because you have to pull them out for timing anyway, but no biggie. The only thing left to do now, besides get the, put the oil pump on it when I come up with a stud and nut, which I'll have to do later, is you put the top in on it. So this I got to ship it out to New York, so it's easier to ship it without the top in on it. Can you put it in a box and tape it up really good. Put the crank way down here and just tape the snot out of it. And when you put the cylinders and stuff on, it gets a lot heavier, so it's more weight to deal with. And besides, I don't have the base nuts. He didn't give me the base nuts, so I don't have everything to put it together. Yeah, makes it harder. So we'll see what he wants me to do. If he wants me to finish it up, he'll have to send me out the base nuts. If not, we're good to go. The timer, I have the base here. That's it for that. I got the timer base, but I don't have the screws, so I can't put this in. I can lay it in the hole, keep the shit out of it. Boom, it's in. But I can't do anything else in that. So that one we're waiting for parts. So the only thing left for me to do here that I want to get done is I want to get this pump on here. So I'll see if I can dig up a new stud. I do might have brand new NOS ones, and I just don't know about the nut. I might have a nut, I'm not sure. I'm going to try to save the nut, but I definitely need to get a new stud. So I'm going to look through my stuff at home and see what I can dig up. And I'll come up with something to put in there. So we might have a little video showing that. If not, this one's pretty well done for now. You already saw how to put the pump on it. It's just I can't finish it right now. Before you put the cylinders down on this motor, I like to pour at least a pint of oil in the crank down in here. And usually what I do is I pour all over the rods, work the rods back and forth, and then cycle it through a little bit like this a couple times. And make sure it's well lubricated, and then you put the pint of oil in there. That's enough usually. So as soon as you start the bike up, it's got oil in there, it's flowing oil. It blows oil in the cam chest, your lifters, so it just pre-lubes the motor. So even if the oil pump doesn't pump oil, you got oil in there splashing around. So that's something you should do when you put together. Obviously shipping it, we're not going to do that because it'll be all wet. The UPS guy does not like oil in their truck. So. Alright, so for now we're done with this one. So that's how you do a 45 WLA motor, WLC in this case. But all the WLs are the same. There you go.